Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Grayman Prepping. It is time for Tactical Tuesday. We're talking tactics, gear, and more. And tonight's topic, the future of grid-connected solar. And how's everybody doing out there? Let me hop over here to the comments, make sure I'm saying, I got more people coming in, so let's start at the top here. All right, so Geeky Garden was in here first, followed by Walt Rogers, then Alicia Autism Mom, Phelan Clan Wolf, Kaylin Strain, It's the Marshmallow Man, Chef Tech, Diana 2, How to Garden, Food Forest Permaculture, everybody's talking to each other. Okay, this one, tonight's topic is one that is going to bite quite a few people in the butt for what's going on. So hang on, let me get something to drink here. Yeah. And it's also the future of off-grid solar as well. And I will be covering some, I want to put this without getting dinged, workarounds. I think that's a good way to put it. So let's get this started here. All right, so I forgot to pull out the timer on it. One of the biggest problems with solar systems is that, and it literally, like I said, it literally paid off legislatures. They've been passing laws that are banning off-grid equipment, being off-grid on solar or whatever, where there is a grid power available. The biggest thing is that this started with California, and Southern Cal Edison and PG&E, Pacific Gas and Electric, bought off enough legislatures to get a law passed that if you're in an area where there's power to it can be delivered to your house, you have to be on the grid. And you can't be off grid with solar. Because hey, they want their kickback money all the time. Hey, Gunslinger Outdoors, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights, and several other states have gone, ooh, California's doing it. We're going to do it too. Now, the thing is, though, there's also part of it too, that if you want to go solar, you to lower your bill a little bit, you can do that, but it's got to be grid connected. And the power companies control your solar system. So like if there's a power outage, they can shut off your solar panels, the invert the controller and stuff. So even though they're trying to produce electricity, it's not going into your house. And if you have a wall battery unit, oh, wait a minute, that's isolated too, so you can't use the wall battery unit you got from Tesla to power your house while the power's out. Absolutely stupid. So that's one thing here. And so basically their plan is to get you, they want to keep you on the electrical company's grid, so they can charge you more money and add all these fees, delivery fees and everything else. some of which those fees just go to pay legislatures. An isolator system is not allowed in California. I'm not sure about other states. So an isolator system is, if the power goes off, it disconnects you from the grid. So you can't feed anything into the grid, but you can't, an isolator keeps it from feeding into the grid so you can keep using your system. They don't want you doing that. And they've also banned the use of the two-way disconnect, which is basically if it's up, you're taking power from one source, the grid. Down, you're taking power from your generator or whatever other system. And so it basically puts you disconnected. Well, they made that illegal too. Unless you're in the mountains where there is no power. Yeah. So if you have a battery bank in one of these states, it will not work when the power goes out. So the thing is, well, crap, I just wasted all that money getting a battery system. What we got here. And so the way the grid tied solar rooftop, it says rooftop, but it could be ground mounted or rooftop mounted. Systems work is, my eyes a little fuzzy here. You have the solar feeding down into a inverter. One thing they don't have on there is actually they don't even need a controller because they don't have any batteries in the system. Not allowed to have batteries in it. So it turns the power from the solar, runs it to an inverter, and pumps it into your system. Well, so long as there's power coming in, it's limiting the power coming in so your house uses what comes off the solar panel first, and then pulls extra from the grid. Well, and this is one of the things, no battery. The grid is storage. The grid is not the storage, because when the grid's down, you have no storage then. So that's the idea of them saying, oh, it goes this way here. But when it's all cloudy and stuff, you're not producing enough. It pulls from the grid in, and if it's producing more than you're using, it feeds back into the grid. Problem is now legislatures or not, like, I don't know how involved the legislatures or the public utilities commissions are involved, which whoever got bribed the most there on this one. PG&E no longer has to pay you for the electricity your solar panels are making and pumping into the system. They don't have to pay you for it anymore. So yeah, this is it's a whole, how do I want to put this? It's a whole BS money grab by the power companies and legislatures, because if the power companies make the money, they get their kickbacks. Now, what it's supposed to work like is you got solar panels, goes to the inverter, actually doesn't go to the inverter. It's not an AC battery, it's a DC battery. Sorry, I didn't notice this when I was pulling it up today, and I just been out of it. So the solar systems work. They feed it into a DC battery bank. From that, it goes to the inverter. From the inverter, it feeds to a special meter system box for the house. And if you're using more then drawn, it pulls it from the grid. And if you're using less than it, you're producing it shoots it off to the grid. And if the grid goes down, originally the meters were supposed to turn off until the grid came back on, and you just ran your house on this system here. Now, one of the workarounds is you get a solar system, but you keep it off grid. And someone goes, "Well, they'll know when you're out, since you're not using it." Well, what you do is you set up your breakers so you have 1 or 2 breakers, like for lights or some lights in the living room or in the kitchen, just the lights, and you have that on one breaker, which is always connected to the grid. If you're in one of those states that won't allow you to just go off grid on it. Now, I know here in Idaho, they don't have any of that law in place. Too many people were screaming when the legislature tried to do that here. But this is what's called a interlock. And basically, right now with the breaker in the on position, this cannot push up, so you can turn on this other breaker here, which is hooked up to the solar system. So if the power goes off, you turn off the breaker, you lift that up, and you turn this breaker on, and now you're pulling from your solar system. This is an interlock. Ben Gilmore here in Firth, the town across the railroad tracks, has done several videos on this, showing how he runs it around here for his stuff. This is one of the more common type systems you have, where you actually have a choice as far as which breakers go to what are powered by what. And so basically you have 2 power feeds into this, one from the grid and one from your alternative power source, whether it's a generator, which is what these were originally designed for, or your solar system. And so I don't know if you guys can read it, but the top one here says GEN for generator. The bottom one says line, which is the grid. And you got 10 circuits in here. And the breakers here, you can turn it in the middle here so it's off, and you're not taking power from anywhere. You're without power. You push it up, and for our conversation, you push up, you're on the solar. So you can take and turn, half of these, or 7 or 8 of these onto solar, and the other 3 you turn them onto the grid. That way, it's like, oh, we're on grid, and for part of the power company thinks you're on grid because your meter's still going, albeit very slow. Minuteman Prep, yes. Thank you, Kaylin. Yeah, that's Ben Gilmore's channel. Hey, Utah Mike. And so this is probably the neatest one you can do it, and you can mount this near your main electrical panel, and basically you wire what would be going into providing power to the breaker, or you pull off the line. You pull off the line, and you bring it over to this, and you don't use the breakers on your main panel anymore, other than the main power breaker. Unfortunately, you can't do that in California. California says they have to have control over your, and your batteries only work when the solar system and when the grid is working and providing, and is providing power. It stays on, and when power goes out, everything gets shut off. It's just one of those stupid criminal things that the power companies are doing in California with the blessing of their bought and paid for legislatures. But in some areas, yeah, you can set your house up for solar and use the grid as a backup. And I'm going to go over something else here that works similarly to that to help for what I'm planning to do here until I get the solar panels set up. So this here is one of the neat systems to set up. You got to wire it, and it has all the instructions, the lines coming in a different way, lines going out to, and when they go into the breaker box, you connect the wires to the circuits you want to have on this system. Oh, Howie's got flying crap going, and he's got power. He's got power flickering. All right, let's see here. All right, that's the last one I got there on that. So we're going to talk about some other ways of doing this, of workarounds. One of the things I'm looking at getting here, as soon as the wife says I can right now, because with 3 properties, we're paying property taxes right now. Ouch. But there are some power stations that you can charge solar, or you can charge off the grid. Now, for most people, this is not going to be a viable intermediate step, but it is going to be for me because we have tiered level billing. So from 10 o'clock standard time until, I think it's 10 o'clock standard time, 10 o'clock standard time to 7 o'clock standard time, so PM to AM, during the night when nobody's doing anything, the rate they charge you is way low. And so what I'm thinking about doing is getting a couple of these power stations, and I'll put one under my desk here, and I'll plug it into the wall with a timer on it. So the timer only turns on at 10 o'clock at night and turns off at 7 o'clock in the morning. And it'll charge up the power station. So when I'm using it during the day, I'm using cheaper electricity than I do at night, which will lower my overall cost of electricity because all my computers and everything here will be, quote, on a power station. And I'll be getting charged a high rate of daytime. Now, one of the other things you can do on that is you can run a setup with your power station, and if you're in a warm climate, you can actually set a little garden shed or a little tote shed out there with batteries in it, because it's not going to freeze, and you can just run AC in and do a little toggle switch setup there for that. Or if like here, I would have to run the inverter in and run lines to the circuit and get something like this, or a smaller version. They come in 4, 6, and 10 breakers on it, and just put a couple of the circuits where I'll have those. I want to put the batteries on, the battery banks on, and just have those circuits, which would be basically 2 circuits, on that, so it will then I could run that on the solar all the time, and when the solar is good, it's going to charge up the batteries there and keep it, charge up enough at the end of the day when the sun goes down. It has enough power to run all night. You haven't seen PG&E's bill. Oh, man, the amount they're charging is criminal. and they keep on adding on these other little surcharges and stuff. But we're not raising the pros. We're not raising the rate bill. Still so much a kilowatt hour. Well, yeah, but you're tacking on all these BS surcharges, which basically triples the cost of electricity. Yeah, they're not raising the rate. But the problem is more and more states, most likely, are going to be following California's rip off the people plan, because legislature's getting kickbacks. Hey, I'm saying it, they get kickbacks. The ones that aren't smart get caught, but unfortunately, the PG&E and Southern California Edison figure out ways to do it where they don't get caught. Yeah, VI power stations is where it at. I happen to have 200 amp hours with the batteries coming. Should be here in the next day or two. And that way you can run certain things. Now, when I was in California and still working for Homeland Security, I had 2,100 watts of power up on the roof. Excuse me. Got to take a Secrets this time. And what I had a battery box I built, and I had 21 at the time. This was 2004, 2003. Had deep cycle RV batteries because lithium iron phosphate batteries weren't available. They checked off. And so what I did is I had 21 of those in there. That would charge those up during the day. And then when I had to go to bed at 3:30 in the afternoon to be able to get up after 8 hours of sleep and still get to work on time at 0 dark 30, it would power. I had it running the window AC unit in our bedroom. So close the door to the rest of the house, I turned the AC on probably around 2 o'clock. Or as soon as I got home from work, turn it on so it started cooling the room down. And then when I go to bed, get some sleep, get up, go to work. And so, yeah, it was one of those fun things. Cool. All right, everybody, keep an eye on on Gunslinger Outdoors for his stuff. All right, where I ordered those from was pull that down. They were on a special flash sale too, but BATERIA power. That's BATERIA power. They were 50 amp hour batteries, and you can get it 1, 2, 3, or 4. Well, when I price on this, it's cheaper than getting some of the other ones for 100 watt hours. So I went ahead and ordered. They were $75 for one battery. I went ahead and ordered 4, and boom, the price for 4 was a little bit cheaper. Actually, the price for 4 came out to, hang on, let me look at it again here. All right, so the price for 4 batteries was under 300. So I had a little break there, but then it had a flash sale thing, and it dropped it down to $259. $259.60, and $259 is the mid-range for a single 100 amp hour battery. And I was getting 4 50 amp hours. That's 200 amp hours, twice as many amp hours for the same cost. Yeah, there you put it in. There it is. And there's froze. They're still on sale. So if you get the 4-pack, they're going to knock the price down to $259.60 if they still have the flash sale going on too, which hopefully they do. But so what I plan to do on that, until I buy one of the other ones, because this was ridiculously cheap, I'm going to hook them up under the desk here and put a plug-in charger on and do like I was planning to do with the bigger ones. But when I get one of the, if I get one of the bigger ones, I'll just move them out to into the utility room with the other one and just pull off the breakers and get one of those little they call them generator interlocks switch systems, and hook those up. Interlock transfer system. So let me just show you one of those so you know what I'm talking about. The other ones. Generator. Hang on. Hold on. Sorry, guys. My brain's not working. Transfer switch. Okay. And put this one here up. There we go. So this is a transfer switch. It says for generators, but it can also be used for solar. Just a different source of the power coming in. And you got one of those little you got your different switches there. But I would only be using 2 breakers, one for the bedroom here and one for the kitchen. So I have the refrigerator and the chest freezer on a on the battery system, and then my computer's here on it, and that would save me time and money. And once we figure out where we're actually going to put the solar panels, I took them from California, brought them out here and get them set up. Then I will tie that all in together too. But there are some got something else to show you. This is what they've now outlawed in California. So what this is, you're either on taking the load from the one side or from the other side. So if you have solar in on one and grid on the other, so the top one would say the top would be grid, the bottom one would be solar, the middle one is your load going to your main breaker. Yeah, they've made these illegal in California because they don't want people being able to do this, to be able to keep on the grid when the power goes out. Talk about trying to control people. Cool. There's the link to the short video that Gunslinger Outdoors did, and yeah, I saw that video, and I just froze it while I was up there, and I went in, order, boom. Oh yeah, I got several. I got 2 30 amp charge controllers because I had two different types of panels in California. And I have a 60 amp charge controller because I was planning on adding more solar panels there when we bought the first property here in Idaho. The reason they did was, oh, we don't want to have backfeeding power into the lines when something's down, and have one of the electric companies employees getting injured. No, but the true reason was they got paid off by the electric companies. So what the future of it is, you're going to see more and more of places requiring, even if the whole state doesn't do it, you're going to see cities requiring, if you have lines going down the street, you can't cut yourself off from the grid. You got to buy power from the power company. Yep, that is, but they made it part of the package deal of this, saying you have to keep using solar, and it has to, the power companies have to be able to turn everything off remotely and all this other BS. Hey, Butch Graves. And so, yeah. I'm trying to remember I'm not sure if it was New York State, New York City, or Philadelphia has a law now for any new houses or renovations to houses. If you have enough square footage on the roof to put up enough solar panels to provide an X number amount of power, you have to do it. You don't have a choice in it. It's now law saying you have to do it. And what's funny is people that are renovating stuff and redoing the roofs and stuff, they're putting in fake dormers. Oh, we got dormers up here. Oh, there's not enough room to put solar panels up there. Contractors are getting smart and undercutting the stuff. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, because we had years ago at my parents' place, we had a transfer set up for my parents' mobile home on the back of the property. My grandmother lived in the house in front. She didn't want to do it. She just wanted to stay on the grid. She didn't use that much power anyways. But when the power went off, we fire up a generator and just do a quick changeover. And the mobile home, very nice mobile home. Very nice. Anyways, and we had power. So, yeah. So, yeah, so there is, you can see it becoming worse and worse, and you see counties or parishes that you're down in Louisiana, and possibly passing laws too. The thing to do in your area is get a bunch of people to go down to the start with the city and then go down to the county and make sure they pass legislation prohibiting the power company limiting how you use solar and whether or not you can go off grid even though you're in the city. They should encourage them and tell them, hey, you want to encourage people to do so, they can charge their electric cars. At the time, my dad said, I know more than most electricians, and he did. And we just wired it in, and it was when we were first installing the mobile home on the property. And last time someone said, well, you need to be a licensed electrician. And I go, I'm a Class A general engineering contractor. The guy looked at me like, what? Yeah, that means I have a Class A, which means I can do everything Class B can do. My finger's right here. Class B can do, which is general building. Everything that plumbers can do, everything that electricians can do, everything that anybody can do, the Class A can do it. And I froze again. And put it this way, if you're out on a farm, you're not going to call an electrician out there to do it. I mean, just about every farmer knows how to do electricity work because they got to do it themselves out there. Oh, man. Hey, Randy, welcome in. Yeah, so one of the things to do before they try to pass laws in your state, county, or city saying, oh, if you use power, you have to be on the power, is get some stuff installed beforehand. And that way you're grandfathered in. Because fortunately, there are some legitimate legislatures that made them put, for anyone who has an existing system, you're grandfathered in. Really pissed off Pacific Gas and Electric and Southern Cal Edison. But I'm not sure how much I'm using here because my wife set it up so she gets the bill electronically and she pays it electronically. So I never see the bill for here. All I know is she complains when if I run the water heater or the dryer during the daytime. She knows about it. Why are you running during the daytime? So basically, for the dryer and the hot water heater, those I'll turn those on. They're on a timer switch. They come on at 10 o'clock at night, off at 7 o'clock in the morning for the water heater, and I just turn it on Saturday morning, and it has on the manual switch on it, and then I'll do laundry and stuff on Saturday, and I'll run the dishwasher on Sunday. Yeah, but yeah, the cost for using stuff on the normal fee time is like double. At least I think it's at least double of what it is during the off-peak time at night. And the legislature owns a pharmacy with solar panels on the roof, but he has battery backup. So yeah, so get involved with your city and county and state. You know, just get a grassroots thing for your state to, you know, get something going, or get hold of one of these activist groups, political party groups that, you know, that do the voter propositions, to make it to put a law in place that you do not have to be on the grid if you want to go off grid. And in that one, make it include in on it a passage where it says the state legislature cannot revoke this. Any changes must be put before the public with a 75% approval rate to revoke this law. Because they can do that. They can set percentage on a certain law. You want to revoke this, you got to have it go through the public to vote on it, and it's got to have a not just a 50% or a 2/3. You can take it all the way up to 75, 80% on it. Oh man, sorry, my head's just killing me here. What else? Yeah, the best way to fight for off the integrated solar system with the grid is to get the proper laws passed where, yeah, you can be integrated, but you can also have a total shut off, and the power company has no authority to shut off your solar. They do have some of these type systems that are set up where when the grid loses power, it automatically switches and will not switch back to grid power until there's power coming from the grid. Okay, so Maryland puts in the free solar system on a separate meter. You can't do anything with it. Or what do you mean you can't do anything with it? You can't use it, or what? But yeah, if you know, work on trying to get stuff passed in your if the state puts it out there, then, you know, saying that, okay, the only way you're going to get cities and counties to rebel against a state thing, saying like against California, is if the county says we are an off-grid solar sanctuary county, which means, and they pass the thing saying, no, sorry, PG&E, you don't get to tell our people what to do. Or you get your local city to do that. Okay. I think I covered everything here pretty good. Let's see what we got here. Happened there. All right, if I can read. Dang, my eyes are blurry tonight. All right, so Thursday night is the midnight ride at 10 o'clock Eastern. On Friday Friday night on the homestead is what vegetables can you grow without sunlight. Saturday is the supply chain and customs and tariffs, which is going to come to pass. Something you need to get ready for. Monday on Camp Patton Family Compound is canning leftovers. Tactical Tuesday next week is take stock of your stock. What's going on here? All right. All right. So Utah Mike has some backup ones for a little bit, not a permanent solar power system. And that's all what some people need. And that's with the until we get to decide how we're going to put the solar panels up here, what we're going to do with them. I just want to have some power when the power goes off. I can keep things going. And so if I charge my power station up at night when it's cheap to charge it up, hey, I'm hand and fist ahead of the game. Oh, okay. So you don't get to use the solar, you just get a reduced rate for your regular power for them using your roof. Yeah, that sounds stupid. All right, folks, I'm going to wrap it up here. My throat's going out fast here. So hopefully I'll see you, and hopefully I'll be a lot better by Thursday. So hopefully I'll see you on the midnight ride. All right, everyone, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you later.